I'm filing for a patent with my new clothing brand. And I realize not every clothing brand needs to do this. I'm doing this because the new clothing brand that I'm starting actually has something about it that is patentable. And for those of you who are curious, you'll see this new clothing company that I've been working on released on this channel within the next 6 to 12 months. But the reason why I wanted to make a video about why I'm filing for a patent with my new clothing brand is because a patent resembles proprietary innovation. We always talk on this channel about the importance of leverage and competitive advantage in your clothing brand. But how do you actually get a competitive advantage for your clothing brand, especially with limited resources? Just like having a patent that's an asset for your business that no one else can use, that makes your company completely unique and special, how can we do this in different ways for your clothing brand? I've got some incredibly powerful ways for you to think about this coming up in this video. It's going to be absolutely profound for you and your clothing brand success. I hope you enjoy. Apparel Success is sponsored by my buds over at BrandCrowd. BrandCrowd's a logo maker tool. You type in the name of the logo that you want to have made, hit enter, thousands of logos will come up. You choose the logo that you like, then you can edit, refine that logo as long as you want for free until it's perfect. This is a Hundo P design I made for my own clothing brand using BrandCrowd. If you're interested, head over to brandcrowd.com/apparel success and you can get up to 66% off at checkout. So something that I've realized more and more every single year over the 8 years growing my clothing brand is just how important it is to be doing something truly special, to stand out from the crowd, to get different results than everybody else is getting. Because honestly, the majority of clothing brand owners are getting basically nothing. They're getting zero sales, nobody's showing any interest in their brand, and their brand is basically just sitting there in ghost town getting absolutely zero results. And I'm not saying this to be harsh, I'm stating this as a reality. I know that this is the case because I've worked in this space for so long, and I know myself just how hard this industry is to succeed in. So take my word for it that in order for you to succeed in the clothing space, you're gonna have to have something about your clothing brand that is truly innovative and that's a competitive advantage. And ideally, you don't just have one thing, you have multiple things that are going on for your clothing brand that's truly giving you a special, unique, competitive advantage. Now, I'm talking way too much here. Here's the big question. Most people that start up clothing brands are average Joes. They're regular people. They don't have any extra amount of money to put into their brand. They don't have an extensive network of celebrities and things. They're starting up their brand from scratch, just like I did, with no crazy amount of resources to apply to their brand. How do brands like this truly stand out from the crowd and get amazing results? How can brands like this truly have a competitive advantage, truly have that innovation and have something with their brand that gets them significantly above average results if they're coming from a regular everyday place? But honestly, this is a really important question for your own brand. You likely are running your own brand, you've got limited resources, you don't have a crazy amount of resources. How can we do this? How can we turn your brand into something that's getting amazing results? Well, there's a whole bunch of different ways to get leverage, so let's go through them. Money. If you have a lot of money, you can invest in a lot of Facebook ads, you can invest in influencer marketing, but I'm just gonna put a little X on the screen here. You probably don't have a lot of money to grow your clothing brand, so that one's out of the question. How about a network? Maybe you know Kanye West personally. That's probably off the books as well. You don't have any direct relationships with celebrities. Maybe your time. You can invest a lot of your time into your clothing brand. And even in this case, you likely don't have it. So we can X that one out too, because you're probably working another job. You're busy. You've got your own life that you're living. And so we need to look at ways that we can truly build this leverage into your brand in a realistic way that's going to get you results. Well, the very first thing is whatever brand concept you're developing for your brand, it better be something that's truly unique, because that's one that you can come up with just off your own brain and with your own talent to see a market and to build a brand that is genuinely new, genuinely unique, and maybe you've got really cool designs or something that you can bring to the table yourself that will give you a competitive advantage. But beyond the brand concept and coming up with a unique idea, when it comes to marketing your brand and getting it out there, I want you to think about it like this. We don't have money, we don't have a huge network that we know, and we don't even really have that much time. The fourth one that I want you to consider that's really a backdoor way to gain more leverage for your brand and to gain a competitive advantage is through taking bold actions. One of the ways that you can unlock massive leverage for your brand really quickly is by being willing to do things that other people simply would just never do. Like they'd just be too scared to do it, they'd be unwilling to do it. It would just be so outside of the box or so crazy for them to do it. A perfect example of somebody who did this to become an ultra success is Mr. Beast. At the beginning of his YouTube career, when he first started taking off, he'd make videos that just nobody would ever think to make or have the guts to make. Like, he'd make a video on YouTube that was counting to 100,000 seconds. And he'd literally sit there on YouTube and count 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 100,000. And people were like, this is crazy. But he was willing to do things and taking these bold actions that were just so fascinating and got a lot of attention. He has another video on YouTube called Saying Logan Paul 100,000 times. And he literally just goes, Logan Paul, Logan Paul, Logan Paul, 100,000 times. Like, this is stuff that literally anybody could do, but who would actually do it? Like, who's actually bold enough to make these types of videos and to actually do it? Well, when it comes to your clothing brand, there's actions that you can be taking that other people running their own clothing brand, maybe in your space, just would never be willing to do. Now, this is going to challenge your own level of creativity, but if you're creative, you can definitely come up with ideas that give your brand leverage very, very quickly. Like, maybe you're a mental health brand and you're willing to talk about a side of mental health that nobody else is willing to talk about. And so you go on TikTok and you share a crazy story about a time you were in an insanely dark place and maybe you were like just about to step off a bridge, and you tell that story live where most people would never want to come online and actually talk about that openly. Taking a bold action like that for your brand that's a bit risky, a bit out there, a bit vulnerable, has the power to really take your brand and turn it into something massive very, very quickly. Now, obviously, that's just an example of a bold action that you could take that would likely get pretty big results just through thinking differently and being willing to do something that nobody else is really willing to do. And this is something that I want you to think about constantly within many different dimensions of your own brand. So it doesn't just have to be in the type of content that you're coming out being bold, but it could be like, how many other clothing brand owners are willing to post on TikTok 10 times a day? Like, are other clothing brand owners actually doing that? Maybe if I do that, I'll stand out from the crowd, because that's what's going to give me the competitive advantage, is to actually do that and stick with that for 6 months or for a year. So taking actions that other people wouldn't necessarily be willing to do or aren't capable of doing will unlock leverage for you. If in the back of your mind while you're running your clothing brand, you constantly ask yourself, nobody else would be willing to do what I'm doing here, like, that's a really good sign that you're onto something. If you're out shooting your videos and you go, I know that those other clothing brand owners aren't doing this, like, this is just something new that I've cooked up here, you're probably on a really good path and you're probably up to something that's gonna get you some pretty good results. I know that from personal experience, the way that I gained a lot of momentum for my own clothing brand at the beginning was through sending a lot of DMs to different celebrities and influencers in the rural Canada space, and through literally like doing that over and over and over again and creating a system around it. And I just knew that most clothing brand owners just simply weren't willing to do that, and they weren't doing that. And at the same time, systematically every day for a few hours, engaging with my audience on Instagram, dropping comments on their posts every single day for 6 to 12 months, I knew that most people didn't have the discipline or the ability or the consistency to do that regularly for their own brand. And that's what really helped me get my brand out there. And through sending all those DMs to those celebrities, I actually landed some endorsements from celebrities that were pretty hard to get on. Like, other brands wouldn't be able to achieve that very easily. And that gave me some pretty big assets for my clothing brand, that gave my brand the competitive advantage, that made it stand out from the crowd, and it gave it that remarkable effect. So to go back to the beginning of this video, I'm filing for a patent for my new clothing brand that I'm starting, because I have something about it that is a true asset that no one else can use. It's a product that I've been developing for a full year that I know most clothing brand owners that are starting up wouldn't be willing to invest the time into developing something like this. And that's the type of thinking that you want to have in every single aspect of your clothing brand, whether it's marketing, whether it's the systems that you're creating, it's the products that you're coming out with, your whole brand concept as a whole. The more you're willing to do something that most people aren't willing to do, and the more that you can create something that most people aren't even really capable of creating, the more you're going to actually achieve a competitive advantage and have that competitive advantage in the market. And I really hope that that helps you grow your clothing brand better. Speaking of competitive advantage, the Apparel Success Mastermind is available now, and we're a group of clothing brand owners all in there supporting each other, answering each other's questions, hopping on live hangouts together. There's courses in there. There's everything that you need to build a successful clothing brand and have the support along the way. If you're interested, you can learn more about what's inside at apparelsuccessmastermind.com. I hope to see you inside, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.